Hello guys, in this video I will show you how to crochet this beautiful colorful pattern using just modified single crochet stitch. And since we have few colors here, I will also show you how to change them along the way so your edges look clean and straight. So let's get started. Let's start with the chain row. For the chain row, you will need to crochet an odd number of chains. For example, 5, 7, 9, 11, or any other. Any number, but it should be odd. So let's start. I will go with the, let's say, 11. Make a knot. And I will crochet 11 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Our chain row is ready. To start our first row, we need to count third loop from the end. 1, 2, 3. We will do single crochet into this third loop. To do a single crochet, insert the hook under this third loop, pull the yarn through. Now you have 2 loops on the hook, and pull the yarn through these 2 loops. We just made one single crochet. And I'm gonna place marker here. If you're a beginner, this marker will be helpful for you to find the place where to make single crochet in the next row. So place the marker under this upper V. Here. And we're ready to continue our first row. So here we have our first single crochet. Now we need to add one extra chain. Now we're gonna crochet into every second loop of this chain row. So find second loop, first, second, first, second. So skipping the first one, and we will make single crochet here into the second one. Insert the hook under this second loop, pull the yarn through, and pull through these 2 loops. Here's our single crochet. Now add one extra chain. Again, find the second loop, first, second, and do a single crochet here. Insert the hook, pull the yarn through, pull through these 2 loops, and add one extra chain. Find the second loop here, and do a single crochet here. Single crochet and one extra chain. And I have last 2 loops, first, second. I will do a single crochet into the second. Here's our single crochet, the last one, but I will not add extra chains here for now, just because we're gonna introduce a new color here. So our first row is ready. To introduce a new color, you will need to pull it through this last loop of the row, like this one, on the hook. Grab this new yarn and pull it through and do one extra chain. Now we added a new color. We're gonna move on with the second row. So I'm gonna turn the pattern and start second row. For the second row, you will need to find these gaps between stitches, big gaps. This gap, this gap, this big gap, this big gap, and the last gap here with a marker. We're gonna do single crochet with 1 extra chain into every gap. Let's start with the first. Take your time to find this big gap. And we will start with a single crochet. Insert the hook into this big gap, pull the yarn through, and pull through these 2 loops. This is our single crochet. And now we're gonna add 1 extra chain. Find the next big gap. Here I have mine. And again, insert the hook, pull the yarn through this gap, and pull through these 2 loops. This is our next single crochet, and I will add 1 extra chain. Find the next gap, pull the yarn through it, pull through these 2 loops, and add 1 extra chain. Find the next gap, pull the yarn through it, pull through these 2 loops. This is single crochet, and I will add 1 extra chain. And here's our last gap with a marker. I will do our last single crochet here. Now we can take off the marker, we don't need it anymore. And here's our second row. This is the back side. This is gonna be the front side. Now we're gonna introduce new color again. I will grab, let's say, red. By the way, we don't cut this previous yarns because we will pick them later on when we will change rows and colors. So to introduce a new color, pull this color through this last loop on the hook. And do 1 extra chain. Now we have our new color added. We're gonna start the next row, so let's turn our pattern. And from this row, it will be easier to crochet because you will see this clear V's, these stitches, and we're gonna crochet between them. So to start our first single crochet, we're gonna add it between these V's. So find place between these V's. So here, pull the yarn through and pull through these 2 loops. This is new row and new single crochet. Add 1 extra chain. Find the next space between these and do a single crochet here. Single crochet and 1 extra chain. Now find the place between these 2 V's. Pull the yarn through. Pull through these 2 loops. This is single crochet and extra chain. And again, find this place between these, do a single crochet, and one extra chain. Now you see we have our last V. We're gonna do single crochet after it, in the space just right after it. So V and the space after it. Pull the yarn through, pull through these 2 loops. And since we are finishing our row, we're not gonna add any extra chains here because we will add a new color. So here we have our first row. So now you can see that the pattern start looking beautiful, and we're gonna have these V's that will help us to understand how to add single crochet, because we will add single crochet between these V's. So now we're gonna switch to white color, and we have it here. So we're gonna add it, this color, by grabbing this yarn and gently pulling it through this last loop. Don't make it too tight, just enough for this rows. So we added new color. Let's do one extra chain. And we're gonna turn our pattern again. So now you can see this red V's. This is the back side, but you can still see these V's. First V, second. Let's add single crochet between first V's. Insert the hook between these V's. Pull the yarn through and pull through 2 loops. This is our first single crochet. Let's add one extra chain. Find space between V's. Add single crochet and one extra chain. Find space between, again, these 2 V's. Pull the yarn through, make single crochet, and do one extra chain. And find the place between next 2 V's. Insert the hook, pull the yarn through, pull through 2 loops. This is single crochet, and add one extra chain. We have our last V. So we're gonna crochet last single crochet just right after this V. So here we have our last V. I will find this space right after it to make the last single crochet. We finished our row. Don't forget that we finished the row with just single crochet, so we don't add extra chains. Now we are ready to grab new yarn from here, and again pull it through this last loop. And add one extra chain. Let's add first single crochet between these. Here we have first single crochet, 1 extra chain. Then let's go to the next. Find the gap between these, pull the yarn through, pull through these 2 loops. This is single crochet, so 1 extra chain needed. Find the space between next bees, pull the yarn through, pull through these 2 loops, and 1 extra chain. Again, space between these, I'll make single crochet and 1 extra chain. So we have our last V. So we need to find the gap or the space just right after it. And I'm gonna do our last single crochet. So we finished our row. Now we need to add a new color, and we have red, and we have this red color here. And again, we're gonna add it by pulling it through the last loop. So take it from here and pull it through. And pull it through the loop again. So this is gonna be extra chain. Now we're gonna start new row. So I'm turning the pattern and I will add single crochet with 1 extra chain in all the gaps between these. And last V, I'm gonna find the gap, single crochet, and that's it. We just made a sample or small piece of this colorful pattern so you can see how beautiful it goes with all these color changes and how beautiful the stitches look here with these V's. So don't forget to add single crochet between these V's with 1 extra chain. So basically you need to crochet this way. Single crochet 1 extra chain, single crochet 1 extra chain, single crochet 1 extra chain. In the new row the same, you need to find these V's and add single crochet 1 extra chain, single crochet 1 extra chain, so on. When you come to the end of your row, you just pick a new color. For example, here is the end of the row. And you have your previous colors here, so you can pick them from here. So in the end, your edges will look clean and straight. I have big piece of pattern here, so you can see how it's gonna look at the end. So I had 3 colors and I picked them every time at the end of the rows, and the edges look neat and nice. I hope that it was clear and understandable for you how to make this pattern. And if you like this, please subscribe and leave a comment. And I see you in the next one.